Alright guys, Brandon with Roaming Reptiles, and there's been some videos about setting up leopard geckos on a budget. I thought I'd show you how to set up a leopard gecko on a somewhat budget. And here's my thinking, is if you have to do a setup on a budget, don't do it, right? If you are insistent on getting a leopard gecko, or any pet for that matter, and you can't afford everything right off the bat, that's okay. Take your time. Buy the enclosure. Then when you get paid or when you have money next, buy the next piece and slowly build that terrarium up to where you want it, to where it really fits that animal. It doesn't have to be everything right now. Have everything set up for the animal, then buy the animal, right? Don't buy the animal first, then set up. Get everything set up. If it takes you time, that's okay. Take your time, build it up the way it should be, and then get your animal. So I thought we'd go through and show you what we're going to do today. And this is our leopard gecko enclosure. Stay tuned. Alright, so let's show you who this new enclosure is for. This one was given to us about a week ago. Somebody just couldn't take care of them any longer, so they gave them to us, and we are going to set this guy up. So what we're going to start with is the 20-gallon front opening terrarium from Zilla. Now, not everybody can get these. That's fine. You can get the top lid. You can go to any store and get an enclosure. They range in prices. This one, I believe, is somewhere around $150. So again, if you can't get everything, buy one piece at a time and set it up. We also have the lizard layer for the humid hide, and these guys go for about $40. The vitamins and calcium, those go for between $5 and $10. Food and water dish, a hide for the cool side, just a rock that we have. Then we got the terrarium moss and mealworms. I do feed live mealworms and roaches, but I also leave some of these mealworms in there because they will eat them. Then we have the heat mat. All right, so this is a medium, and it's for a 30 to 40, but it'll work just fine on this 20, and it's 8 by 12. One thing that's really important to have with the heat mat is a temperature controller. Very important. You want to always have these guys with your heat mats. If you don't have it, it is possible the heat mat gets too hot, something happens, and, well, then you lose your animal, and you can even start a fire. So it's important to have one of these guys around. If you want, especially if you have like a light or something like that, is you can use the power center, and you can time it to go off and on when you want it to. So let's get started. Alright, so I have the terrarium flipped over on its back, and we are going to put the heat pad in. So decide what side you want it in. So I want it on this side here. So let's peel this off right on the back. Right there. Make sure it's nice and secure there. Now, one thing you'll notice is on this terrarium has this little indentation on the back bottom. And that's so you can fit the cord right through there so it's not pinching when you stand it back up. These heat mats come with these little rubber stands that you put on the corner of your terrarium. Just like that. Alright, so we got the heat mat on. Got these little pegs on, so there's plenty of airflow going on. So we'll stand the terrarium back up. If we look around the back here, you'll see we have the cord through that little notch. It's free to move, so it's not hung up there. Alright, so for this one, you can use different types of substrate if you want, but I'm still checking this gecko out, make sure it's okay. So I'm going to use paper towels for now. So we'll go ahead and put the paper towel in. Now we got the rock layer we're going to put in. Here it is. And then you can see it kind of locks into place. If you lift it up, it has a nice little hide chamber, right? So this blocks the light, so it's completely black in there. And you can put your moss in there, wet it down a little bit, and you have a humid hide for them, which is very important for leopard geckos. It helps them shed right over the heat pad. Now we can get the moss to put in there. Now let's give it a little soak here. Put the lid on. Just like that. Now you have your humid hide. Now we want to hide for the cool side. Have this laying around, and that'll work just fine. Right there. Then he can go over there and get on the cool side and relax for a little while. Water dish, food dish. Water in here. We're going to add some of these mealworms. Just like that. Then I'll spray them with the calcium supplement. And then I'll also spray his roaches and mealworms and superworms every time we feed him. But he has those there just for a snack if he wants them. So now we're going to set up the temperature controller just so we can control the heat of that heat mat. We don't want it to get too hot and cook your leopard gecko or any other animal you might have in there. We want to make sure it's nice and comfortable, so that's what we're going to do now. The plug-in from the heat mat, so you can plug that right into the thermostat here. And so now we have the heat pad cord running up, hooked into the thermostat, and we can set our temperature to whatever we need. So now we're going to set up the probe. I like these cages because I have this little spring here that you can put the cord down in. And we can put that right in the back of the layer there. And there you have it. A leopard gecko enclosure on a budget. Kind of. Let's set him in there. Just like that. And so he'll move around, he'll check things out. But I think overall he's going to be pretty happy in here. So there you have it. There's our leopard gecko enclosure for this guy. And like I said, you don't have to skimp on anything. Take your time, build it up the way you want to build it up. Once you're done, then get your leopard gecko or your ball python or whatever it is you're getting. But you don't have to skimp on anything. If it takes you 6 months to get the enclosure set up, it takes you 6 months. We set them up and they seem to do really, really well. Take your time. Enjoy the enclosure. Enjoy putting it together, making it a happy home for your animal. I promise you it's well worth it. So thank you guys so much. Be sure and check us out on the description below. We'll have different links to our social media. I want to thank Zilla for all the cool stuff. They really help us out. So thank you guys so much. See you next time.